Alrighty, welcome back. I'm your man Bad Chad, and Queen Jolene's on the camera. We got Douglas in the house.
The King, the Queen, the Joker.
King, the Queen, and the Joker.
The King, the Queen, and the Joker.
It's a good card, so I always keep it.
Yes, it is.
It is a good card. Doug is sanding the insides of the doors with 220. Basically, I'm getting Jolene and Doug to sand the parts that I want to sand the outside of the car. You watched me DA yesterday. I DA'd everything except for where the lines are. Where the lines are, I just took a piece of tape, put a line there, and took a little tiny small block. I'll show you in the back. That's what I'm going to do. But it's sanded down with 220, so we're taking off the guide coat. To have it, to make me happy, would to be able to have all the guide coat off, no metal showing, and no body fill showing. That means that we basically have a good shell that's going on here. There's a lot of people that are really, do not like the DA, and what I'm going to tell them is, my body work must be flat to start with. That's basically the end of it. Like I haven't got it all wobbly, and I'm fixing it. I'm thinking that the body work, the filler, we've got on straight. So as I've blocked the primer, I'm just using the primer for in between the filler and the metal. I want something there to feather it off just a little bit better. That's what I used the primer for on the first time. On the second time, we're going to try to paint it. On the lines, you can see on the car that there's tape on there. And the reason I put tape on there is because I want to make a line. I have enough material on the car. What I'm saying is I have enough material on the car that I can make a line. So if I have something that's crooked, if I have something that's crooked, like whatever, if I have something that's crooked, I can straighten it out in that primer with the block. I know it's hard to believe that, but you can if you have the material to work with. Like you can lean it over and whatever. But I have some right here. I have this piece of tape on here. I put that line on there. I want to block that line. I didn't make it completely straight. I kind of give it a little bit of a bow to it. And the reason I want that because I just want that because I feel like it's a better idea than trying to get it perfectly straight. I have this side blocked out. I get all the guide coat off it. So this is what I do. Or this is what I have been doing. And I want to show you. I want to put that tape right there. That's not it. That's not it. My tape's over here. So I tape the line first, block one side to the tape, and now I'm going to take the tape and run it to the other side. And the only reason I'm doing this is because I do not want to sand. I don't want to sand on that part where I've already got it blocked out. Now think about that for a second. When you're doing body work, and you're doing body work, and you got one little place that you got to fix. Like I've always said, mud the whole thing and then do it all again, because if you mud that one little spot, you'll be sanding this spot and that spot and that spot and that spot, and you'll be messing things up. With this here, I'm just putting the tape on it here. So when I sand it, I'm not hitting it. And basically the same thing with your filler work. If you flood the whole thing, you'll generally work out a little bit better for you than if you just spot it on, because you'll actually destroy places that you're next to. So basically now what I want to do is I want to feather this filler up to that line, and then I'll have a line that I can buff off by hand. So when I pull the tape off of this stuff, and then I have a little black line there, I will be able to just scrub on it very easily and take it down. If I start scrubbing on it the very first thing, I'll end up having the line worn off and I'll have no product there. So this is the stuff, like this has been DA'd. I did the exact same thing as I would do on a block, 220. Now, but I want to make this line. In order to make this, I would think that you would want a block. And the only reason I went to a DA to sand the car off, or that's the way I do it, is time. Like if I can do it in a day or a day and a half, if I can do it that fast with a DA, instead of using a block, which could take 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days, then I feel like I'm going forward. That's basically the end of it. This stuff is hard sanding at first, and that's the reason why a person can end up going, like, that's why I went to a DA to sand this stuff, because I was doing this process and it was like, whoa, like it just took so much to get done. It really did. It took a lot of time and a lot of effort. I just wanted a paint job on a car, if you know what I'm trying to say, and have, you know, it look fairly decent. Well, that's why I grabbed the DA, the power tools, and started doing it this way.
There's a product on your car you can do it too?
Yeah, it's honestly, like Doug was scrubbing the back here and doing that part. He said it's the first time that he's ever got to press on the primer and sand it. He must have been doing collision work where they use less as possible. And but we've got product on the car. We're taking it off every time we do something. But if you do not have it, you can't say you're using it. And I'm just using a small block here. I'm feeling like I got the body work decent. I just want to flatten that material primer out, that's all. And I want to have a line there that I like. We have to think about, you know, if I want it any better, I'll just do more work to it. you can, if you know what I'm saying, like if you want it any better, just do more work to it. You know, if you don't like something, prime it again. Sand it again. Tape it again. Do whatever you like, but I basically want to just put a paint job on it. And I want this line as straight as possible for the material that I'm using. We're going to single stage this bad boy. So generally, single stage is you get what you paint. And, well, the brown, or the brown, and the blue, the black, the red, the white, the grays, them all can be buffed, but the metallic ones, generally move your metallic around, so if you're shooting a color, you can play with it a little bit, but the metallic ones, when you sand them, the metallic will move around on you. That's the single stage I'm talking. No, I'm probably not going to buff anything. Hope not anyways. Just want to get a paint job on it. Starting to get it. You can see that guide coat going away. You can see the black in there. You see a little bit of black up in there. We're trying to get that texture out of it and also get that line going. You can honestly admit, if I didn't have that tape there, I'd be lost. Or I think I would be lost. Basically, you just want to sand it till the guide coat's gone. And there's nothing showing other than primer. That's basically where we want to go with this sand here. After I do this and pull this tape off and show you what I got, Jolene's probably just going to put the camera up. Doug and Jolene are going to commentary. And I'm going to go to work on the other side on this one. Try to get that done.
Story time.
Story time for Doug. Oh no, what kind of stories is he going to tell? You have to keep with the video to find out.
Yeah.
Doug's full of surprises.
Good surprise today.
Good surprises today?
I told too many stories out the show.
Hold it still, Doug. Hold it in, buddy, because we're coming. We're just getting this buffed off and.
I just seen it through it. Wow.
Remember, it's G rated. It's G rated. Doug.
Good.
Yeah, something like that. The only dirty jokes is Dirty Doug.
Yeah.
Just got a little tiny little bit showing there. You can see, in all honesty, I sprayed that a little bit of primer over that before when I did the inside of the doors. I just scuffed it and I put a little bit of. You can see where I've used the primer that I sprayed on it to make my application look a little straighter. And what I mean by application is this piece of tape and this line on the side of this car. I'm thinking that there was damage on one side or both sides. I'm not sure. We fixed both sides. If you go back in the tape or back in the archives of us doing this car, doing the bodywork on it, there was both sides. Just got a little bit right there. I want it. I want it. The reason being is I still got product on there to get it. If I didn't have the product, I wouldn't do it. Believe me. But to get that, I have to do the whole length. I can't just stick right there. I can't do that. Gotta do the whole length, the whole thing. You know, take it all off together. My thoughts are, anyways. Maybe scrub it a couple times instead of just once when you go by. But. This is 220. We're going to be doing it again with 400. Can't do this work up in here with a DA. I can do a bit of it with a DA right up to that point with a DA, and then basically it becomes you end up messing it up with the end of the pad. Didn't use any of that filter there. We took it all off, but there's some up in here. Yeah. So I took the little tiny block and did all this. I did the top of this to this line, so I had the tape on this side. I did this side. Then I peeled it off and did the exact same thing I did right there. So I DA'd all this, DA'd all that, DA'd all the side, tried to get it done quickly, trying to. And then all the lines I had to go like that. Doing the DA would be too fast. And basically when I'm DAing that, if you haven't noticed, I'm running it very fast because I want it all to be one playing field. So we'll pull this off. I'm happy with that. So then when I take my sandpaper, I can swoop that off and make a nice line out of that. I've got it kind of coming, whatever it is, what it is. Yeah, I'm all right with that. That looks good. We'll take that, smooth that off by hand. Same with this one. How's it going inside the doors, Doug?
Great, buddy, great. You see it through there a couple times now.
Did you?
Quite amazing, yeah.
That's okay. It's inside the doors. And then we get a line on, something like that. You can see how I have not took the line. I did not make the lines. I don't like I gotta get a little bit of this on it. I enjoy that a little bit more. And the reason being is, if it's crooked, you'll soon know. If I got a little bit of an arch to it, just like the body line itself, like the quarter panel, it's got a little bit of this. If you bend down, look at that line. Can you see that? This line here. You bend down, see it's got a little bit of this to it. Exact same thing as the quarter panel, I'm thinking. So that's what's going on there. That's what I've done. Then I can just come over here, wipe that off. So Jolene's going to set up the camera over here step wherever she's gonna step. I have no idea. But basically, you're gonna get to spy on us for some sanding time. Basically, Doug's doing the inside of the door with 220. Jolene's gonna do this side inside the door with 220. I'm gonna get down and do the exact same thing on this as I did on that side. Appreciate everybody coming back. We really do. It's Doug and Jolene time.
I'm not that exciting.
Huh?
I'm not that exciting.
No?
People would rather see her than me.
Oh, listen, I'm not going there, Doug. There's no question. No question, buddy. Throw it over in the corner over there, or throw it in that corner, wherever. Where do you like to put it? Would you like to put it in the window? Just take a walk around. She's gonna take a walk around, see where she wants to put the camera. She had it sort of figured out there before, but she's not. She's the producer's coming out in her. Oh, this piece here, I have to take that piece of tape off and then run a piece of tape on the top of that before I start sanding that. And I just follow the line that I made the first time. It takes a little tiny bit, but it sure is worth it when you take it off and you have a little bit of primer there. And basically what happens is you've taken the time, or the time that you've saved on, blocking the line off, that'll buff off very easy. All the material is still there because the guide coat's on it, and now you can play with that line and make it look good. Same with on top of the doors, same with on top of the fenders. Doing the best job I can, as fast as I can, and as reasonable as I can. That is the bad Chad way. Fast as I can, as reasonable as I can, to make myself happy. Man, that sounds like a pretty good logo, doesn't it? Nobody's good all day. You just have to do it the bad Chad way. Remember, if you're talking bad, you're still talking Chad. It's true, Doug. Huh? It's true. Going for it? All right, she found her spot. Everybody's going to get in position and go for it. And I want to thank Doug and Jolene for doing the inside of the doors, because it's a job and a half. This stuff don't sand that well with the 220 starting out. It does not. It's really a thick shell, hard shell primer. But I've used it for a long time, and it's always worked.
Where does Doug go?
He probably went to the little boy's room or something. Probably. Reason you crisscross when you're sanding paper or sanding primers for the paper to sand the primer off easier, crisscrossing on the cut through.
Is it food?
Thank you.
Just give me something tasty to eat.
You've been just given a voice.
I have the voice. Are we on air? Oh, cool.
Oh yeah.
Awesome. Trying to tell stories.
It's Friday.
It is Friday all day long.
It is Friday.
And it is also International Women's Day. So happy
Well done,
International
Doug.
Women's
You got me
Day.
every time on that.
Yeah. To all you lovely beautiful women.
Look at what Jolene gets. She gets to sand the door.
Yes.
Huh?
Thanks for the help, Joe. I appreciate it. It's awesome. Awesome of you. This is your day. You shouldn't have to do anything but
Sand the door.
Is there any days where you guys don't do anything?
Not really. Basically, when you're doing something, though, you're busy, right? So you ain't got time to think about doing something else. I guess. Not sure.
No shortage of work around here, is what you're saying? Between this car, that car, and every car.
Basically, on the inside of the doors, the primer's getting sanded off till the guide coat's gone. Basically, make it look the best it can. And then it will be guide coated, and we'll do it with 400 again, just like the outside, and then I guess it's free game after that, I guess they call it. Or paint it.
Who's paying this car? You or Jolene?
I haven't decided that yet.
Decide that yet? You're gonna stand back and hold the camera this time? She's gonna do the painting? Lucky gal.
I haven't painted for quite a long time, so.
Ooh, he's a bit rusty.
Yeah.
Hey, there you go.
Haven't painted
Look
quite
at
a long
this. Well, I know one person
I'm just
that-
hoping the bicycle thing comes out.
I know one person that isn't doing it. That's me. I would if you wanted me to, but I would guarantee absolutely nothing.
Figure I'd call you up in the middle of the night, Doug, come down and paint this car.
Oh, right now? Yeah. No, put cough pot on. Hold me down.
That one shouldn't be too bad.
I used to always get drunk and paint stuff. You don't do that, do you? I don't recommend it, really.
I can't say I haven't
I mean,
painted.
you're a lot happier while you do it, but in the end result, you're like, oh, what did I do?
Yeah, exactly. I have, but it's not the best thing to do. It doesn't pay that well.
I think it's mostly for your entertainment anyways.
Don't you find that primer sands so hard with the 220? Like it takes a long time to break through, doesn't it? Like
It
to
sure
get the guide
does.
coat down. What? Sure does. Like on the DA, man, it just like blows right through it. But with the old sandpaper and the hand paper, the old primer's hard to break through. Which is a good thing. It just makes it hard on sanding it. What's that? Yeah.
And the lighter you go, like the easier it comes off.
Yeah, stop, don't work it so much, don't press on it?
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe I take your advice, I don't know, I'm just impatient with it. I want it sand off. You know what I'm trying to tell you.
Jolene usually gives some pretty solid advice. I mean, I'd probably listen to her before you, Dad.
Ah, there you go. For all viewers. And Doug's only going by experience.
After you paint this, you'll just be all warmed up to paint the guide.
That's what we're working up to, Doug. That's what we're working up to, buddy.
All warmed up.
Just practicing on other stuff to make sure we're doing it right.
See if you still got your mojo.
Yeah, still got her. Doug's got her looking good inside, got her all cleaned out, ready for the next stage of making the inside right.
Could go further.
There's a
with
big
it.
difference between fixing a car, cutting a car, and building a car. There's a big difference.
There sure is.
Yeah, there is. All right. Yeah, there's a big difference. Everything's got to be done.
I understand why people love rat rods so much. You don't have to do all this
Well, it helps, doesn't
stuff, right? You know, you just leave everything looking rough and
it? I do like some people's style.
yeah.
Some people's. But yeah, it does help. Listen, it takes so long to build a car, man. money.
Yeah, I've mentioned doing a car with absolutely no bodywork to it, right? Nice. No cans and cans of primer.
No body work to it.
No dust, no dirt, no sand. A lot of elbow grease going down here today.
And then after the inside the doors, we got to do inside underneath the hood. Yes. So the hood, the side of the fenders. I'm saying underneath the hood is what I mean by the cowl part there, and the inside the fenders. How does everything look on the inside of your door, Doug?
Pretty good. I mean, I burned through it in a couple spots, but oh no, I'm happy. I'm happy.
Okay.
Looks good so far. I don't know. It doesn't matter how it looks to me. How it looks to you.
Jeez, I can't argue with that, can I?
Yep. So
Doug's happy.
it looks good to you, and that makes me happy.
I seen a post on the internet last night, or the other night. If it wasn't for mistakes, I'd only know half what I know.
That's your quote.
And I stopped and read it. I said, well, that's a good quote. And looked at it, it was me. I think Rooster shared it. I'm not sure. What's that? I am. That's pretty cool. That's true.
How true, how true.
Very true. Very true. What's that, sweetheart?
I don't have to make a t-shirt.
That'd be awesome. That way there, you wouldn't feel, in all honesty, if more people felt that way, you would be less offended anytime, would you not? If you realize you learn by mistakes. After I block something, I always like to rub it down with my hand, with a piece of paper. Just after you block something, it's nice to rub it with your hand. Make sure that it is what it is. I might even leave the line of everything until what? Until we put the 400 sandpaper on it. That way there, I still got lots of material on my edges. Excuse me, sweetie pie. I guess I'm up here sanding, I guess. Cow, I got that back there looking pretty decent. And if you can't get all the black, I see there's some places you really have to dig to get that off. If it's not, if you're not able to get around everything, like right in there.
Yeah, scratch
Just-
pad usually because it burns in there a bit.
We got
so-
some scratch pads.
Yeah, that's what I was going to do with that. Anyway, some of those strong inline scratch pads. When that time comes.
Did you burn it through?
Yeah, right there, right there.
Who was down there?
That's what I was. What?
No, who was down there to go that far? Was there like a spot in the guy? I just burnt through?
Yeah, there's not much primer on it. Like I burnt through.
Not much
Okay.
primer on that.
But I mean, it feels good.
Okay, as long as it feels good and the guide code's gone is all I'm looking for. Yeah, I'm playing with you, baby. I play with you. These are the places up here you can see, right? If you're gonna take that camera down, are you? I can show you up here where see this little places like that?
Yeah.
That's where I touched it up with a paintbrush where there was pinholes,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah, when you put that paint on with the brush, it's pretty thick. It takes a lot to paint it down.
So I've taped, did the exact same thing on the fenders. We've taped the line there. I'm going to leave that line. We'll probably guide code it again. I'll just leave that line. And the reason being, I don't have to buff that off yet. That can still be my line for the guide code when I do the 400, basically. And all that tape does is stop me from
Mindset.
hitting the other side and ruining something that I'm trying to make look good. That's all it's for, is to help contain myself. I've got some primer up here that we did a little, I don't know, we did on the second page or what page we did on. Did a little video on this. What page was, not sure what it was on. But anyways, you can see where I've painted it with the brush and the guide code. If you come take a look, can you see it? Now I'm going to buff it off and find out if I have any pinholes or not. That was the goal of this matter. There was holes where there was pins there to hold down a rubber gasket to make the car channel its water down through here. We pulled the pins out. We put a little filler down in the holes because the holes were divoted down. This is underneath the hood, and actually, you know what, as I think about it, there'll be something else going probably right on top of it, probably a stick-on thing, molding. So it doesn't really much matter how nice it looks there, I guess. But I just want to know for doing the deal, did we help matters? I'm sure we did. Find your mojo?
Is that mojo?
Did you find your mojo? Where you want it?
Comes Cody.
Oh, there's street bikes out around. That must have been Jimbo Patterson going on 900 KZ. We've been over to try to see Jimbo twice lately and have not been able to catch him, haven't we? Yeah. He's doing quite a job in that Cavalier, I know that. Oh, stop it. Cavalier, Cobalt, same damn thing. Cobalt. Swipe. What do you call it? Sweep? We're both on the same page. Swipe, sweep. Cobalt, Cavalier. I think anybody can do this work. They just got to pay attention to what's going on with their material that they're working with, basically. Gotta pay attention. Sometimes that's hard, but
We get frustrated with this stuff pretty easily.
oh yeah.
Especially when it comes to landfill. That jazz. I think they only have to do it once and sand it, they're done. Couldn't be more wrong.
If you want to go a little faster when you're sanding something, grab an air hose and blow the air hose where you're sanding the same time you're sanding. So if I have the air hose with me, I take the air hose and I blow it with the paper, and at the same time I'm sanding, it'll sand twice as fast. Why am I not doing that? Because it does make quite a dust. But it does work. If you want to sand something off quickly, grab the air hose, try it. I'm using the rag to pull out the dust on the sandpaper. That's what I'm using the rag for. Swiping it on the rag to pull out the dust. Putting a lot of work into this one seam here, but I still see guide coat. And I want to get rid of it. Getting it. Doug, where do you live?
In a house.
How do you feel?
Yeah. Upside down most of the time. Where do you live?
Right here.
In the shed, right?
Right here.
Jolene lets you out every once in a while, right?
The guide coat is a real big help when you're sanding something. You know how far you've got to sand to get it down to one playing field. And that black paint sure does tell you, don't it?
Well, you do it, right?
What grade school you got, Doug?
10.
10. 10. Yeah.
One of the cases.
What you got, Jolene? Lots.
Yeah.
Or just pearly whites come out lots.
Yeah, we got lots.
Lots. What you got? 9 years in college? Holy
God, man.
How could you put up with it that long?
Probably had a blast.
Playing soccer. Oh, so that's all that mattered?
hotrod.
basically? Oh, wow. I knew that anyways, I know that.
Feels way too long. I mean, way too big.
I couldn't handle someone telling me to do that long.
You run all the way down there. Why don't you bring that net closer to me?
Oh, is that how some people act? Ah, I understand what you're saying now. So I'm thinking that, just talking out loud, I'm thinking this car had, I'm thinking it had trim clad on it, I'm thinking, from what I understand. And we've taken the trim clad and we've covered it with a urethane primer. I'm not sure what a lacquer-based primer would have, or a thinner-based, solvent-based primer would have done to it. I'm not sure if it would have cracked it or would have not, but this primer here has adhered and is doing a fantastic job what it's supposed to be doing, and that's build so I can sand it off and make things look good. So when we get it all done, we'll have a day whether it looks good or whether it doesn't. And when you're painting something, that could happen at any point in time. Whether it looks good or whether it doesn't. You know what I'm saying? We'll film that process. No doubt in my mind, won't we or not? Yeah, she said we're going to film that process. So we're going to paint this bad boy coming up. We got to sand it one more time. Sand faster, people. We got to get it sanded, guide coat it, and sand it again. Yay! Something like that, probably. And then there's so much more to do. I'm going to probably paint it with the hood off it, paint it with the trunk lid off it. It only makes sense to paint inside the fenders. Paint the edge of the hood and the trunk lid while it's off, and then put them on after it's painted. I generally don't go to that. I don't know if anybody noticed, but there's a big bolt right in the center of the caliper here, and that's got to be changed. I can't have that on there. I have to smooth that off, take that off or something. We have a bunch of marks in there, you can see that, and I'm going to take out as many as I can with the paper that I'm using, and that's basically how I'm going to use this. Like, you take out as many as you can and then move on. Like, that's what the primer's for, stuff like that. All through the whole car it was like that. You can see stuff like that, and you just keep sanding, you know, with the idea that you're going to make it look nice, obviously, paying attention that you're not running through to the paint or the metal underneath, because you can't go no further than that. But you can sand it down and keep sanding it to try to make it look the best it can. That's basically all I'm doing. Did not do any body work to this up here, just kind of sanded it off and covered it with the urethane. And then basically we're using the urethane, hopefully, to take out a lot of the imperfections. No body fill required. Now, if you want it better than it really normally is, you'd have to take and fill that stuff. That you'd have to fill that and do it that way. I'm going to try to scrub it out in the primer. You can see I'm starting to hit there. I'm getting close. But I can just get a little closer. Now, I've taken most of that out with the primer, so very happy with that. Just got a bunch more down here to do. That's what the guide coat is about. And if they don't come out, they're staying. This is underneath the hood. Not going for any trophies on this one, are we? Huh? All right, Doug, you're up.
What? My turn?
What are you doing?
I'm sanding this door. Got lots of corners. There's lots of sand. How's yours look? Does yours look better than mine? Of course it does. Damn it.
That's not a question to ask Jolene. Does yours look better than mine?
Well, I mean, what? Listen now. Come on into the gutters. Slam your head in that door a few times. That'd be a scratch pad. Just get those give them little black spots, the ones that are hard to get at. Boom, 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 man. I mean, it comes off pretty good with the scratch pad too, doesn't it? Yeah, I mean, just these edges and stuff, it's a little bit easier. Yeah, there's one right there, I went over for you. I just didn't give it to you or tell you about it. So I didn't want you to get your door done before I got my door done, because you just make me look bad then. And if anyone's going to make me look bad, it's going to be me myself. Right?
Oh, come on, Doug.
I'm an angel, loved by all.
That's up for question with some.
Questionable, is it?
Yeah.
No, you're pretty happy to see me every day, bud.
Oh, yeah?
I know,
Hey,
right?
old Douglas, give me. You've been here all week.
Been here all week.
Here all week, wow.
Had a pretty good week so far, haven't we?
It has been.
Yes.
It's Friday, you get to go home to your son. What are you going to do this weekend?
Man, I really don't know. There's a new arcade down the city. I might hit a new arcade out.
Doug's going to take his kid to the new arcade? Wow.
Oh, stand-up video games are a thing of the past. When they start popping up arcades, I gotta go. Check it out. I'm a gamer. I love it.
Yeah. Whose looks better?
He's further ahead.
Whose looks better? Does his look better? They're the same.
Good answer. And she's like, oh, get those little knobs with that scratch pad. You better go over there and do that.
It all takes time, and everything has to be rubbed down. On an overall paint job, you must realize every panel has to be rubbed and sanded and dealt with. Like, you really have to realize that. If you do not, well, then you're in for a for a big surprise. And basically, you want to make every panel as smooth as you can with what you have. And the only way to make it better is just to continue on and keep working on it, if you know what I'm trying to tell you. Because if you're not happy with it and you see something, that means you just got to stop and fix it. I want a new piece of paper. What's that? We're probably good. All right, everybody. Thanks a lot for coming back. We really appreciate it. We're getting the car sanded down. It really is a mess in here. It's really going to have to be blown out and wiped off, and the car's going to have to be blown down, and everything stripped down and that sort of stuff. But I really feel like we're going in the right place. It's looking really good. I would like to have the window in it before we paint it, because I always like, doing that sort of stuff after it's painted is a questionable thing. We have the hood off, the trunk off. We'll probably end up painting underneath here and around the doors and around the trunk lid. Probably the first time or something like that, and then we'll back the car. Maybe we'll paint around the edge of the hood and around the edge of the trunk lid. I'm not sure if we'll put that on before we paint. I'm not sure, but it has to come out. All this has to be cleaned back out again, and we're gonna have to guide coat it again and do the same process over again. And that's what it takes. All right, everybody. Thanks a lot for coming back. Back tomorrow. We'll be here. Doug will not be here. But my queen Jolene will be here, and happy, what is it called, Women's International Day? International Women's Day.
Eventually, I'm going to get a cardboard cutout of myself, just put it in the corner so you sense that I'm always here.
I don't know, that'd be scary.
Yeah.
Have a good one, everybody.
Have a good weekend.
Yeah.